the memo that was leaked out.
No problem. Whatever you decide.
Big story.
No problem.
Salagi, Sariang, what happened in Salagi? Mune keta.
I don't know, man. You know, Musa, I cannot. I watched that program and I had to put the phone down because the reason I said deficiency, empathy disorder is just listening to those people, their reaction, some of them crying. You know, it really hurts me. I put myself in their shoe like, they are my sisters. How about if my sister was a victim, or my brother, or my uncle, right? So I really felt it. And on Friday I was watching Bantaba, and I couldn't continue watching it. So because I listened to, I mean, you could tell the people who are just doing Monday quarterbacking and the folks who are victims who feel the pain. You can tell. I mean, I watched I was up for Fajr prayer and I click on the press conference didn't even start it, organized by Minister Dr. Cisse. And I listened, watch every bit of that press conference and what comes out of that. And you can tell it was not genuine. I think, Musa, we could do better. We have land issues. I get it. But we could have done better. If someone, the victim, has papers and say, here are my papers. I had the plan. I paid every taxes. These are my documentation. They didn't compensate me. Why would they lie? Why would they lie? I mean, the onus lies on the government to prove to people. I think up to this point, they could have published the list in spirit of transparency and say, every person that's compound's been demolished, we've paid them this much amount. Here is it. I think it will bring a different conversation. But up to today, that hasn't been done. And these people are left mercilessly. They are in their compounds. Their fences were, knocked down. Their water taps. I mean, where have we lost as a country the empathy? You and I both growing. And it go back to the conversation that I had with my brother. And I said, what I found in today's society is lack of empathy, Musa. Both of us, our parents back in the days. And I always say this, every gathering, whether it's a wedding or a naming ceremony, whenever we go out there, we start talking and people saying, oh, I achieved this, I achieved this. I always say this in Mandinka. And I say, Dewo dimbe Sariang. Ifama la dinkende ala siatete. Do you understand what that is?
No.
Every person who was within that guy, you and I, think about our parents. Our parents didn't have a monthly salary. They don't. But how many, if we count, how many children were they able to raise, take them through school, feed them? We were feed breakfast, dinner, lunch and dinner. But nobody, even if they go out there during rainy season, they go out to the farm, whatever they grow, they put in their storage. That thing would serve until the next rainy season. And they are able to give out charity during Eid al-Fitr, all that stuff they give. And they were able to feed their families because of the way they treat each other, respect and dignity. People were living in family homes. Each has a house. They were living in harmony, peace, and love. But today we lack that. And when I see folks, regardless of these folks, the pain, the suffering, the psychological trauma, you cannot fathom. And that happened a couple of days. What happened? We got a leak that someone somewhere is going to take our money and pay for personal expenses. Musa, I cannot reconcile these things. And that's why I came up with this frame. I said, we're suffering from deficiency empathy disorder because the lack of empathy, the lack of helping and consoling families, feeling their pain, putting ourselves in their shoes. Musa, it's not, people have health impact. There was a gentleman who said, I know what I'm thinking today. My life doesn't worth anything. I took loans. First time they knocked this out, I went and took loans. I have family. So those things, if people don't think about it, and you go out there, you see the Minister of Information saying, oh, they have the right, they follow due process, they pay them. Where is the proof? You have the Minister of Moses, I don't know what his title is right now, former Secretary General, I think, or Chief of Staff, saying, I know due process, but where is the proof? I think you could be measured in your utterances, especially on a public domain, trying to console these families. So I think it gives me a pause. And I've been thinking about this. What is the different direction? Do we want to continue this? We are saying, oh, this thing gonna continue next week. I mean, with everything that's been displayed so far, the grievances, the outburst at the press conference, there is absolutely nothing. The Minister of Lands cannot sit down and say, you know what? I think I need to have a town hall one-on-one with these families. I need to give them opportunity to sit at the table and express themselves. And I think that is part of democracy and due process, Musa. And that's why I said at the beginning, folks have not been given the opportunity to sit at the table. And I think that's what needs to happen. We cannot continue like this. It's very painful, very, very painful to watch this. And I hope the Bar Association provides some pro bono services to these victims and challenge the Minister of Local Government to bring sanity to this issue. Definitely.
Sariang, I would have loved to have